Well, to get into the Man United news, they do have a couple of players on their list, and they're working on a couple of deals. Let's start off with Frenkie de Jong.
Yeah.
A difficult one. They've chased him for 3 good months, and I think they've really now gotten frustrated. But we know Eric Ten Hag, and we understand that Ten Hag knows Frenkie de Jong, and the fact that he wants de Jong specifically in person, it just highlights that it's de Jong that can play in the in the period. Sorry, in the position, probably as a single pivot.
Yeah.
I think that's where he wants to play him. The question with Frenkie de Jong, for me, for Man United and United fans, if you cannot get Frenkie de Jong, is there no one else that can play in the position? Because wasting 3 months for a player in a position, because for Eric Ten Hag, for Mikel Arteta, for Jurgen Klopp, Pep Guardiola, the most important position is that base of the midfield. And we saw it against Brighton, because Brighton, Caicedo, man of the match, pure man of the match performance. So de Jong, £85 million agreed with Barcelona. Player doesn't want to leave Barcelona to come to Man United, despite the fact that there is Eric Ten Hag. I mean, what should they do?
Of course, United per now, because we saw news come out that they may sign Adrian Rabiot. Of course, arguing that maybe it will be hard for them to sign Frenkie de Jong. I think it's one of the reasons why they went to Adrian Rabiot. Yeah, from Juventus. But I think, like we said before, United, I think these were small issues, because we all know what is delaying that transfer of Frenkie de Jong coming out from Barcelona. Of course, it's just a matter of money. Of course, United may be paying some things or arguing some things with Barcelona, helping out maybe Barcelona pay out the money for Frenkie. I think it's one of the reasons that has prevented this player coming out. But I think, like we know, one of those players that Ten Hag wanted to start with, of course, that is Frenkie de Jong, because we all know the style of play that is the coach wants. It starts from the middle. So I think not being capable of bringing such a player to the team, I think is also one of the things that is going to be disturbing the coach.
Absolutely.
That's why he opted for players like Adrian Rabiot, who play in the same number, but I don't think they can do things that Frenkie de Jong does.
That is what I was going to ask you about the other players that they want in midfield. You've mentioned Rabiot, so let's start from Rabiot. They've also agreed a deal, 70 million euros,
70 million,
plus a few add-ons for Adrian Rabiot with Juve. They are working on personal terms. Rabiot, does he improve them? Okay, I mean, with McTominay and Fred, he does improve them. Yeah, I think I was speaking on Courses Arsenal podcast that was last summer, and I said in a situation where we were, any player could easily improve us. But is it the quality of player they need at the moment? Is the kind of player they need at the moment, or are they creating a problem that will need to be, cleaned very, 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 very soon in the future?
This is the kind of transfer policy we were talking about of Manchester United. You can't buy a player who a club wants to get. Of course, we all know that Juventus wanted Adrian Rabiot to go out because he has not been performing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But of course, United coming out and saying they want to pay, maybe they are going to pay 70 million plus. I think it's one of those things that you look at and say, really, this Manchester United, the United we knew, of course, before. Yes, Adrian Rabiot, of course, we do something for the club, of course, as being a pivot.
I think it brings an experience. It's not the worst option. It brings an experience from PSG and Juve. So you feel he's a quality player. He's a talented player.
Yeah.
But he's no longer. I mean, if they signed him 5 years ago, when he was 24,
like 24 years,
it makes sense. But now Adrian Rabiot at 29, his work rate is not the same, and you bring him in the Premier League where you feel it's even harder, and there's so many quality options they could go for. For me, Ruben Neves, yes, he's an expensive option, but if you're willing to invest 85 million euros or pounds in Frenkie de Jong, and he doesn't come, get that money and put it on the table for Wolverhampton Wanderers. They will give you Ruben Neves.
And
he's a quality sign.
Like even the qualities, if you try to compare the qualities of Ruben Neves and Adrian Rabiot, of course, Adrian Rabiot, like we said, he's good. Of course, when it comes to maybe tackling, defending, like of course, doing that. But when it comes to pressing, I don't think he's that good.
This is not
like,
that good.
Yeah, like he's not that a speedy player, and these are maybe the qualities that Frenkie de Jong and also Ruben Neves are. So I think, and Man United, of course, I will know that they wanted a player like who can do maybe all of those things in that. So I think he's expensive, but I don't think he's the right player United maybe could want in such a situation.
And I think with Adrian Rabiot, they've gone. We've lost to Brighton. The fans are angry. We need to bring in someone to just fill the void. And they've said, who can we go for? Because I mean, a few people have said they've tracked Adrian Rabiot for some time. I don't think that was the plan. I don't think it was planned.
Maybe before. By that time when they had just started at PSG.
Probably. Probably.
Maybe that time.
Probably.
But PSG, by the time they let him go, he was not that player before. Of course, even at this time, Juventus, of course, wanting him go out. I don't think that he's that kind of player, like who is going to be doing wonders for Manchester United.
So they want Adrian Rabiot. They do want a couple of other midfielders, but it is not very serious. They do want Serge Milinkovic-Savic. I think Savic is a quality player. He's 27, playing at Lazio, again in the Italian Serie A. He would bring them a lot in terms of a box-to-box. He would just provide that perfect guy in terms of box-to-box. But are they going to pay £50 million for Serge Milinkovic-Savic? I don't see that. I don't see them do that. Now, Eric Ten Hag has also been focusing on a forward, winger or striker, depending. They're looking at Hakim Ziyech, and they're looking at Cody Gakpo as well from PSV. But I think for me, the focus, is my focus is on Hakim Ziyech. He's done wonders under Eric Ten Hag. He's come at Chelsea and has failed. Chelsea would be willing to sell him for anything below 10 million pounds. I think that's a bargain.
Of course.
Should they go for Hakim Ziyech? I mean, would he be an upgrade on the Rashford problem? Because for me, the Rashford is a problem now. Ever since he came from, I think, was it the Euros where they missed penalties? That was Euro 2020, right? I think it's become a problem.
And also being awarded.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I just never wanted to bring that.
I think most of the volumes came from there. But currently, those two players, like we've mentioned, that is Gakpo and also Hakim Ziyech. I think they are good players. Yeah, for Manchester United. And the fact that the coach had used them before, of course, that is at Ajax. And Gakpo, of course, at PSV.
PSV.
He has seen him. He has seen like as in forward. I think. This could be better options maybe for Manchester United when it comes to the attacking options, and of course players that know your style maybe will do wonders for you. But of course, like we said, it will come back to how much the clubs want in these players. For example, you may go in for Gakpo, and of course the club is so much high.
I think PSV have beaten Monaco. That was the condition they had said, that they will not sell Cody Gakpo before playing Monaco in the UCL qualifier playoffs. They've beaten Monaco, and I think they've progressed. They're asking for around 35 to 45 million euros. Arsenal, Newcastle have all been in that mix. I think it would be an exciting one for them because,
by the way, even last weekend, he scored 2 goals.
He scored a brace.
He scored 2 goals.
He's got the pace. He has
and he's a young talent.
And he's a very young talent. And the fact that he's Dutch as well, just come into the mix. But Hakim Ziyech, the experience now in the Premier League as well, I don't think he creates enough, by the way, as a player. Or probably the Chelsea system has actually made him not that good. I mean, it can always be. But should United or shouldn't United be thinking about players like Christopher Nkunku just for a while? As the likes of Liverpool buy Darwin Núñez and Haaland to City, should they be thinking about the calibers of Nkunku?
Of course, per now, like you said, they're looking for wingers, but I think their main focus, like we said, should be maybe in 2 positions. No, maybe 3. No, 2, because in back I think they have a variety of players there, but in the midfield they are pivot, and also that main striker, because we do well know the chances of Cristiano Ronaldo staying, I think they're like 30%.
Yeah, they're slim. Yeah, and they're going to create a problem for themselves where they eventually let him go at the end of the window,
Of course.
and they've not replaced him.
So that's why I'm saying they will want, of course, a player like Christopher Nkunku, a player who is young, like who has proven that he can do things, and of course he can score goals. So I think, like apart from these wingers that we've been talking about, the likes of Gapco and also Hakim Diaz, I think United will need a good player like that, like Christopher Nkunku. But I think, like we said, most of these players, of course, they know the situation right now that Man United is in. Of course, they may not want to play for such a club that is like maybe is in that struggle, and also the amount of money, like United, of course, because we saw right now United, of course, is paying players, or they're buying players at high amount. So Christopher Nkunku may be a good player for United, but of course their style of play will also maybe, because you never know what the coach like wants him to be playing. So, but I think at his age and also what he has been doing for that is in like RB, I think he will be a good player for United.